So today we'll be taking a look at some stories for Bray Wyatt, latest for Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, as well as some other topics. For today's question of the day, we got a loaded question for you that the community has been discussing for months. Can the Fiend be fixed and put back on track from a booking and storyline point of view? Let us know your thoughts on that below, and we'll feature some of the comments. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, let's open up with this Bray Wyatt topic. Although we've never physically seen Sister Abigail in the flesh, it still feels like we've known her for a long time because she was such a massive character for the backstory and origins of Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's backstory is still very much cryptic and not crystal clear, and that's pretty much expected from a character like this. This unstable and unreliable narrator sort of character that he's been for so many months. Is everything he says true? Is he throwing in some lies into his stories? You just never really know truly for sure. But one of the things that seems to be true about his backstory is the fact that he lived with his sister, Abigail. Fans have speculated for years that the way Bray operates, the way he thinks, his twisted ways, all most likely came from Abigail herself. Abigail was probably the really twisted one, and Bray was heavily influenced by her. So that's why he took so many things from her. Abigail was really the only family he had. That's why he was very close to her, named his finisher after her, and constantly brought her up time and time again. As far as the character coming to life goes, there's been a few instances that we got really close to seeing happening. A few years ago, it was supposed to be Bray Wyatt wrestling as Sister Abigail to take on Finn. Unfortunately, Bray became ill and the match had to be cancelled. But maybe that cancellation was a blessing in disguise, because what did they really have planned for Bray portraying his own sister? It's a bit weird. Everyone had always envisioned Abigail being portrayed by a woman from NXT. So when we saw that Bray was going to be portraying her, it felt a bit off. But it never happened, so the legacy of the character was never tarnished there from that moment. Then, over the years, Abigail's portrayal kept coming up. Becky Lynch originally tried out for Abigail or a possible love interest for Bray Wyatt, but that never really got off the ground. Then, there was one time where Paige was reportedly a favorite to return as Abigail. Everyone remembers the summer of Liv Morgan, where everyone thought she would step up as Abigail. Then Alexa Bliss portrayed Abigail during the 2020 Swamp Fight. So it's been nothing but small instances, rumors, and theories like that about Abigail's debut for years now. Well, according to Mike Bennett, he, believe it or not, was set to appear as Sister Abigail as well at one point. Mike had this to say while speaking with Metro. Early on, when Bray Wyatt turned into the Fiend, Vince was always high on having Bray lead a group for some reason. He always wanted him to lead a group. We were about a week away from making it happen, where me and Eric Young were going to be a part of Bray Wyatt's group. We were going to actually be the puppets. They were going to bring to life the puppets. Each puppet was going to represent an actual person. I don't remember. There were talks that I was going to be Sister Abigail, and Eric Young was going to be a buzzard. It was one of those things where you guys will play these characters. He's portraying them as the puppets in the Firefly Funhouse, but then they'll come to life. I thought it was really cool. I was ready to sink my teeth into it. But then, like most stuff there, right before it happens, they're like, oh yeah, we're not doing that anymore. You're like, oh, okay, cool. That would have been a really cool spot, but I guess I'll go sit in catering. So let's break down what Mike Bennett revealed there, because some of the things he mentioned were things that we heard before. Starting off with the puppets coming to life, this has been something that has been reported several times over the last few months. Even Blake and Steve Cutler talked about the same situation, where they were also pitched to bring Bray Wyatt's puppets to life. So bringing these Funhouse characters to life looks like it's been a thing on WWE's mind over the years, but they never really committed to the idea and made it happen. You had Alexa Bliss join the Funhouse, but that only lasted a handful of weeks, and she hasn't appeared in the Funhouse since last fall. So that didn't really work out either. So it's been put out there a few times. That's one of WWE's plans. They really wanted to bring the puppets to life. Bringing the puppets to life is a very tricky concept and sounds like it's going to need some proper treatment if it's going to be pulled off in a good way. Obviously, you can't have two guys come out behind the Fiend cosplaying as a pig and a witch, because that's not really a good look at all. It'll be the talk of the night on Twitter, and you're basically just asking to get clowned at that point. But maybe, if handled the right way, there could have been something where we see these puppets morph into something else, and that's who joins the Fiend. Bray has two personas and appearances inside and outside of the Funhouse, so technically, you could have made something work where the puppets change as well once they leave the Funhouse. What is very weird though is wanting Mike Bennett to play Sister Abigail. That doesn't seem to make much sense, but it does seem to be the sort of thing that they would do. So even though the idea of the Fiend leading a faction would have been great, this is another instance where the legacy of Sister Abigail's character was nearly tarnished again. If Sister Abigail is coming to life, the character should be played by a woman, just because it'll make us wonder if this is actually Bray's real sister and keep that mystery alive for the character. If Abigail comes out and she's portrayed by Mike Bennett, that just takes away the mystery right away. We know that obviously Mike wasn't Bray's sister. The fact that they pitched for Mike to be Abigail out of the entire roster is probably the most confusing and head-scratching thing we've seen in a long time. But thankfully it didn't happen, and we'll have to see if WWE will ever revisit the idea of bringing the puppets to life, because it does seem like they like that idea, telling by how many former superstars talked about it. So there's a good chance that they'll revisit it in the future. Sasha Banks made her first appearance in a long time recently, but it wasn't for WWE. It was for ESPN's award show. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair were at the show representing WWE. They even had a segment together in the broadcast, and they won the award for Best WWE Moment of the Year with their WrestleMania match. WWE was reposting all of the pictures of Sasha and Bianca sitting next to each other and having a great time at the award show, but some fans had pointed out how this appearance had taken away from where we left off at with Sasha versus Bianca's feud. Last time Sasha was on SmackDown, she was fresh off of losing her title at WrestleMania and stormed off of an interview. So for some fans, seeing WWE posting pictures of Sasha and Bianca sitting together, having a great time, when Sasha is supposed to be her heated rival, was a bit strange. It's not a big deal though, they can obviously cover it up easily. Maybe Sasha returns as a babyface, like in 2019, and turns on Bianca Belair again that same night. Something like that can easily patch up this out-of-character moment that some fans were discussing. But they still made history at WrestleMania and made history with this award, so that's still great to see. But what are your thoughts on today's stories, and are you looking forward to the next Sasha vs. Bianca match? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.